Is it showing are you on live?
So we are on live, yes.
Yep.
Let's just wait to see whether people join or not. So yes, people joined already, Raisha. So
Yep.
you can ask me any question you have. I'm happy to provide all the answers.
I have loads of questions. I have loads of questions that's
Yes,
been
yes,
asked to
yes.
me from different people. There's also my questions as well, many confusions from people. So
Sure, yes,
loads of
go for it.
questions.
We're going to give all the answers to international students who are living in the UK. So this session is going to be helpful for the international students who are living in the UK or anyone wishing to come to the UK. So Raisha, floor is yours. You can ask me any question you have, and I'm happy to provide the
Oh,
answer to the
yeah.
students.
So I would start with a very really general question. Why should students choose UK for studying? And if they're trying to choose UK, which major would help them the most? And what's more popular in this country?
The thing is, I'm going to give the answer so summarily, like I'm going to give a very small summary.
Yeah, just
If
a
you
short, brief, yeah.
short summary. So first of all, there are so many countries around the world where you can go and study.
Hmm.
US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK. The UK is one of the most important countries because the top universities are based in the UK, Oxford and Cambridge. The university as English-speaking countries, the the whole university infrastructure in English-speaking countries actually originated from the UK, as you
Hmm.
understand, and they have all the innovations that you can see in the world. This actually was done by the people from this country, the university professors, the educators, so whoever did all the inventions was done by the people from the UK. This is why UK is very prominent, and also you understand that Canada, Australia, New Zealand, including the US, was even controlled and was controlled by the British people in the past, and this is why they have a lot of historical connections. And all the universities are popular. That's why people are thinking to come to the UK, and also a lot of Commonwealth students come to the UK because of the education systems are very good. Your second question was whether people, what kind of subject they should study when they come to the UK. I would always say that you choose subjects that is very prominent. For example, professional degrees, including medicine, law, engineering.
Yep.
Um, don't just come to here to study only business and administration because it doesn't have a lot of job opportunities. People in the UK, those who are living in the UK, are majority of them. You have to understand when you come to the UK, if you don't do the professional courses, business degree and some other degrees are very, like for example, if you come and study politics, I have no problem if you study politics, but if you are coming to do a job in future rather than going into politics, that degree is not going to give you ample opportunities to find suitable jobs in the UK. But
Yep.
if you are thinking to do professional courses, like especially if you're looking to work in the UK, then professional courses is going to help you a lot.
Yep.
So that's what I would like to summarize.
My second question would be, as asked by most people to me, which route do you think is the best route to come to the UK? Whether should it be bachelor's degree, master's degree, visa route, like I'm talking about visa route in general
Yeah.
to
So
settle.
see, Raisha, you came here when you were like, I think 19, 20.
I'm
So
19 now.
19. So I came to this country when I was 18 years old after finishing my college. So I came here to do undergraduate.
Hmm.
So undergraduate course actually helped me to settle in the UK. If you ask me why, the reason being is, see, I was a Bangladeshi national when I came to this country. After finishing my studies in the UK and completing my undergraduate, did my postgraduate, did my professional course as well.
Hmm.
And then it was easy for me to settle down in the UK and obtain the British citizenship. You see, I mean, it's a very big dream for people from, India, or, I mean, for a lot of people want that, so to have like a freedom to travel around the world. If I would be a Bangladeshi citizens, that'd be quite challenging for me to travel around the world. But now I don't face any kind of issues. So this is another freedom I wanted to have. And plus, if you become a British citizens, your children, your future generation can also study for free.
Mhm.
So this is why if you come to here to study undergraduate, the benefit will be you will be able to adapt with the country, with the environment, and you will have wonderful opportunities. You'll know everything. You'll know the job market. You'll know the people.
Mhm.
You can integrate into the society, and you can in future you can have the privilege that we call it as a British citizenship. You can get that as well. So that's it. I mean, this is why I think people if you really want to come abroad,
Mhm.
it is easier. I know it's quite expensive, but it is easier to come to the UK to do undergraduate and then do postgraduate. This is how we can settle down. If you have if you have the things in mind that you are going to settle down in a foreign country, I think undergraduate course is much better because that you can do all kind of works. So if you come to do a master's degree, there's a lot of things that you can't do. And when you come to undergraduate, you're young, you're a fresh mind, you can literally work hard, day and night. That's not a problem. You know what I mean? So I think undergraduate course is much more flexible and much more uh, desirable, I think I have to say, for international students. By the way, if anybody, those who are watching us, if you'd like to ask any question, please feel free to ask. Just write down, and we're gonna give you the answer. So if you can write it on the comment section, it's gonna come to us directly, and we can pull it up and we can give you the answer as well.
Yeah.
So please just ask any question you have. Thank you.
So my next question would be, it's not a question, it's like there is a rumor or a myth going on that if people comes in like work permit, they are more prone to get their like indefinite leave to remain for after within 5 years. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. It is true. To be honest with you, I mean, this is just. I mean, this session was meant to be about only student matters, but if it looks like it's going to the legal matter now. So
Yes.
before if you want to go to the legal matters, then I would like to give a disclaimer. I'm a lawyer and director of Ascendant Legal Solicitors. This is not going to be a legal advice session. This is going to be basic session for information only. I'm
Mhm.
just going to give a very basic information that you can find on the government website. If you want proper legal advice, if you want proper legal advice, please feel free to contact with your own solicitors or with our solicitor firm. Rice is also paralegal. You can contact with our solicitor firm as well. But this is not going to be pure legal advice session because you can't rely, or any advice I'm going to give here is not going to be constituted as a legal advice, and I'm not responsible for that. You must check, validate everything. If I give any legal advice in this here, this is going to be purely information only. Don't constitute these things any kind of information that I give as a legal advice. Thank you. So yeah, if anybody come to the UK on work visa, they can settle down after 5 years. This is the route. So you have to work for 5 years, pay the government tax. You have to make sure that you're paying the right salary. Then of course you can settle down after 5 years of working in the UK.
Mhm.
You can get ILR, but ILR is not the one that you get citizenship. Once you get ILR, you have to wait another 1 year, and then after 1 year you can apply for the certificate called naturalization certificate. Once you get the naturalization certificate, and then you can apply for your citizenship. That's another like nearly 2 years journey after getting the ILR.
Mhm. So, coming
So,
from one of your points that you made before this question, which was you said UK is expensive. In what terms is undergraduate degree expensive, or can you give us like a small average brief about the costings that you might have to face in the UK, including tuition fees plus living cost?
I'll tell you honestly, I have visited you visited USA, I think.
Mhm, I
So
did.
I visited US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I visited literally all the countries, including all the European countries. There is no place in Europe that I haven't visited. Uh, so what I would like to say is education is not free.
Mhm,
Education is very expensive, regardless wherever you go, unless you get fully scholarship. That is not achievable unless you are coming for government scholarship or coming to other kind of scholarship. So education is expensive, right? So UK is also expensive. The UK is also expensive country. London is a very expensive city. Manchester, same as Birmingham, same as other major cities in the UK. So it is expensive, no doubt on that. Especially if you're living in major cities, it is expensive. But think about Canada, think about US. Don't you think they are also expensive? Look at the tuition fees. Their tuition fees are way too high than the UK universities.
Hmm.
To go and check their
Yeah,
university website, check
as
their
much as like $45,000 to $45,000
dollars. Right.
dollars.
So
Yeah.
people think they are not expensive. I personally found when I went to US, yes, of course, when I went to go to US, I convert the currency in pound. That's how I probably find it's a little bit cheaper because pound is more stronger than dollar and Canadian the dollar as well. So including Australian
Yeah.
currency. Okay, so it's still they are expensive. So I think if you compare all those three countries, three sisters countries, I have to say US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, they're not less expensive than the UK. Their tuition fees also quite high, but
Hmm.
as you understand, the UK have a lot of universities, and if you have good results, excellent results, and if you plan in advance, our students who are coming from other countries, they don't plan in advance, so they plan like 4 or 5 months before coming to the UK, and then if you plan like at least 1 year in advance, there are a lot of opportunities that you can get. If you have the good IELTS results 1 year before, you have a lot of curriculum activities. I know a lot of students who does a lot of volunteer work, government charitable work. They get a scholarship. So if you can obtain a scholarship from the universities, that's why your tuition fees is going to be cheaper. I know a lot of students who are coming to do undergraduate because they have done a lot of charitable work, including environmental protection,
Hmm.
including criminal justice systems, including uh, contributing in the science. So they got a lot of kind of scholarship from the universities and the government as well. So that's why you can minimize your expenses. So UK is not that expensive as you see if you compare with other countries. But yes, if you go to non-English speaking countries like Netherlands or Switzerland, for example, or Sweden, yes, they're cheaper. But hey, listen, who'd like to go to this country where you can't speak English? We learn English, we know English from our childhood, and it's quite challenging to learn a new language when you're like grown up. It's not easy. You can't adapt. The way you are speaking English, you can't speak Swedish on the same way if you go there, even if you live there 5 6 years. Because you know that language. So this is why people prefer to come to this country, even though this is expensive. I hope you got my answer. Although it was quite big, but I hope you
Yeah.
got the answer.
So, a follow-up question on that same question, which is, what's the average tuition fees like in the UK?
Average tuition
In
fees in the
GBP.
UK, for example, it could be starting for undergraduate, could be starting from 13,000, depending on the universities. Could be less if you go to very very remote area. For example, if you go to Bangor, if you go to Aberdeen, if you go to Scotland in a very remote area, the tuition fees could be less, but opportunities,
If you speak about London.
yeah, opportunities also going to be less there. I know students who are there. I mean, a lot of people will say, "Oh, brother, can we go to this city area, like remote area?" If you go to Bangor, for example, Bangor University, give it an example. I mean, no offense. I mean, they're also good university, but you're hardly you'll get to see people after 6 o'clock. Everything is shut there.
Mhm.
7 o'clock, you will see nobody on the street. So there is no nightlife, and there isn't much opportunities, no jobs, opportunities as well. Yes, you might gonna find a house that you can rent for like £400, but you can't even earn £400 from that remote area. Yes, there are jobs in very different places. It's comparing like same as your country or India. So if you're coming from Delhi or you're going to Kolkata somewhere in a very remote area, it's going to be quite different. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So 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 yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, what do you have to say about the living cost here? People say the inflation is like creating a lot of havoc. Like loads of people are coming here and there's the inflation, the price is going up. Do you think that would affect the future students, like the ones that are going to come in this September session or January session 2025? As there's inflation going on, people has like a high concern about it, the living cost food and accommodation to be specified, and
Yeah.
transport?
I have seen one of the very bad inflation in this country back in
Hmm.
2009 and 10. So I was like, that time I think already spent 3 to 4 years in the UK. So that time inflation was much more higher. The recession was much more higher than now. You see that that was quite complex, that time. So UK is facing the same thing again. I mean, a lot of people say, yeah, things are expensive for various different reasons, but same thing happened. Same situation was there back in 2009, 10, 11 as well. So see, a student didn't stop coming to the UK. Okay, they never stop coming to the UK, even though the tuition fees is higher, because they know the education is expensive. So the accommodation is expensive, the food and living cost is expensive. See, when I was in Bangladesh or other, give an example, when I was a child, I mean, I could have just spent 1 taka to buy my ice cream. Okay, but nowadays, what you can get it 1 taka in Bangladesh? Nothing. Okay, even if you give 1 taka to a beggar, they will laugh at you. So it's this is what I'm saying. So it's a problematic everywhere, and the inflation is everywhere. So, but obviously, if you are hardworking individual, working hard, spend 3, 4 months, 5 months working hard, obviously before you come to the UK, you definitely paid your half of your tuition fees, and if you plan to work hard from the beginning, from the day one, and save your money, rather enjoying your life, then it shouldn't be any problem at all, I think.
Hmm.
So in inflation is higher, things are expensive, property price, rent is expensive, foods, living expenses are expensive, travel cost is expensive, but think about the income. So if you have good income, then you can cover it up. I think shouldn't be any problem.
Speaking of income, I was just going to jump to that question. So many students asked me about the part time job opportunities. So, question one is it common to get part time jobs in the UK? Is it hard? Is it really uncommon or is it common? Followed up by the question, is it possible to cover like your tuition fees with the money you earn from part-time jobs in the UK, to be specified if you come to London or like suburb areas of London, like nearby like Kent or around Manchester, this kind of areas.
The thing is, I'll be very honest. I mean, before you come to the UK, you have declared that you have money to study in the UK. But
Mhm.
look, I go back to your point of whether you can save money to doing your income. Look, it's all depend person to person. There are a lot of jobs in the UK. It's not like you are, look, you are coming to a foreign country, okay? And it's not like you and also you have a visa restriction. If you have no visa restriction, believe me or not, you would get a job. Anyone would get a job in like 5 days if they work really hard. There are so many jobs, so many apps to find the jobs. Jobs is not an issue in the UK. I think still jobs are not the issue. Is the issue is the skill. So a lot of people come to me saying, I'm looking for a part-time jobs, but they have no skills. They can't even speak the language. So what jobs are you gonna get? You're probably gonna get a job in the kitchen. That's not a problem. But any jobs is not a problem. But if you have good communication English, if you have a good communication skills, if you have good understanding, or you have the ability to manage or do any kind of businesses, or any kind of you have capacity to work in any kind of top business environment, for example, then it is possible. So if you are thinking that I'm going to work in KFC getting £12 per hour, then definitely you can't help yourself to save up the money. Definitely you can't. You can't definitely can't save the money to uh, to pay to your university. No chance at all. But say imagine I'll give the answer in different ways. So everybody is different. See, your expenses and my expenses maybe not different. Maybe different, because maybe you spend money on your mobile phone. Maybe you spend money on your say luxury food, luxury expensive dress, expensive clothing. But maybe other person is not gonna do that. If you are from top-notch family, then definitely you don't have to work, first of all. But if you are somebody from coming from middle class or upper middle class family, then you have to think about how to save money. I've seen so many students come to the UK, they never work. Chinese students, they never work. Indian students, I have seen many of them, they never work. Even I've seen Bangladeshi students, they never work. And Arabs, forget about work, they never work. So they just basically, have their good life, living the dream. So this is different. So for people like say middle class family or upper middle class family, if you come here and try to save every penny, I see students come to the UK and buy an iPhone 15 Pro Max next day, okay, on credit. So that means you are paying monthly basis. So that means you are losing your money there. So if you are really come from upper middle class family background, or even lower background, that then, and you try to save the money from the beginning. Technically you pay your first year tuition fees, and see, you have 5 months to work full time. Okay, if you have a little bit of skills in the UK and you work day and nights during 5 months, you can work 90 hours. If you want to work 90 hours per week, no problem, during your peak holiday time. Okay, but I've seen a lot of people who did that. And I have seen people, a lot of people like me, even I say I earn money, I save money, and I travel around the world. So depend what kind of person you are. If you try to save money, yes, you can pay tuition fees. If you have good job where you can get 50-60 pound per hour, yes, absolutely, why not? And there are people who are skillful, and I promise, after I promise that you'll be one of them as well. So inshallah, and see, if you really work hard, use your brain, then yes, you'll be capable to earn good money as a student as well. But you have to find a professional job, on your same industry.
Mhm. So I'll be following up to the next question, which is about the visa, student visa. So many people ask me, what if my visa gets rejected? On what criteria would my visa be rejected? And what if it gets rejected or my visa got rejected? What can we do from our end? That's the question.
To be honest with you, student visa, hardly student visa get rejected, because you have certain points that you have to satisfy, like 70
Makes
points.
sense. Yeah.
So you have to have CAS, you have to have maintenance, you have to have English certificate. If you have that, you hardly a visa will get rejected. Sometimes visa get rejected because maybe the fund you have provided is not sufficient. Maybe you're not satisfying 10 points. English, without English, university is not going to issue a CAS. So that means CAS 50 points, 10 English points is absolutely fine. The problem is with your finance. Sometimes people show their father's account. I've seen a lot of people showing their father's account. They have millions of pounds in their account, but they have no income sources. That's when they have serious issues, and this is why their visa get rejected. But if you have any other circumstances, say I'll give an example, pre-example, one of the students I have dealt in the past, where she provided bank statement, and basically what happened, her the home office contacted her bank to verify the fund. Okay, and Deshi banks and Indian banks, they don't really reply quick enough. So the bank didn't reply to the home office, and home office assumed that bank doesn't probably have the money. She doesn't have the money, so they rejected the visa. So that once she challenged that decision, once I challenged the decision through from our solicitor firm, and what happened next is, uh, home office said, we are reversing the decision. We are sorry about that, because I said, look, the bank didn't contact you. It's not bank's duty. Maybe bank didn't find the email that he sent an email. Who did he talk to? He didn't talk to anybody. And then bank sent an email to the home office later on saying, okay, we just did not receive any emails from you guys. Home office said they sent an email to the bank. Bank didn't reply. Then bank later on, bank said, okay, we didn't receive your email. And then home office said, okay, I'm sorry, we are sorry, you are reversing the decision. So now they're reversing the decision, and hopefully she's going to get a visa. So student visa hardly can get rejected if you fulfill all the points. Okay,
Yeah.
no issues, hopefully.
So next question is by most law students. When it comes to law, when's the earliest after a student before graduating or after graduating their LLB degree? What's the earliest they can start earning?
Okay, so as I said, when I was a student, I was studying law degree. I work in many law firms. So I had jobs. I had part-time jobs as well. Not everybody, like, I was not kind of person whose father has multi-million pounds. I didn't. My father didn't have that. Obviously, my father supported me through every way he could. But obviously, I had a job beside my studies, and also I work in a law firm. So if you work in a law firm, for example, if I work in a law firm and learn everything in 3 4 months, depending how much input I'm providing and how much output I'm giving to my colleagues and to my firm. So I work few law firms, quite reputed law firms, and I was a student. And to be honest with you, after I didn't probably earn good enough or nothing in 3 to 4 months, but I learned everything. And what I did, I handled cases by independently by myself. So I got cases that I handled directly under supervision of the lawyer, supervision of the senior lawyer. And senior lawyer paid me quite good money. Say he was happy to give me like 50, 60 pounds per hour, because the case was mine, and people knew that I was doing the cases, and I was dealing the cases under the supervision, and he used to give that good money. So if you have a professional job, for example, and if you learn, for example, you said about legal matters, legal point, and legal education, then yes, why not? You can also earn good money, decent money, if you have the experiences and if you know how the systems work well.
Mhm. So we got another question from the comment section saying, want to know about PLAB.
So let me just see the question 1 second. Okay, so the question comes from Rafsan Islam Badon
Yeah.
and want to know about plug. Okay, fine. This is very interesting. The plug is for the doctors who wish to come to the UK to practice as a GP, general practitioners, as a doctor in the GP surgery. So there are two types of practice that you can do in the UK as a doctor. One is the GP, general practice. One is in the hospitals as a surgeon. Okay, so in order to practice as a GP, you need to pass the PLAB exams. So PLAB has two stages to pass. So there is part one and part two. So part one you can take from India. Part two you can take. I think part two you can also take nowadays from India. There is no option to take this exam from Bangladesh, and part two you can take from the UK. So once you pass this test, PLAB one and PLAB two, there is two parts. Okay, it's basically the English test and also changing your checking your medical backgrounds and everything. Mostly is English. So if you pass that level PLAB exams, then you can literally get a job in the NHS, within the NHS, and can come to the UK as a GP to practice here. So a lot of international doctors who are practicing from Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, including China, anybody, any doctor, qualified doctor from any country wants to practice in the UK with the job is sponsorship. If they pass that test, the PLAB exams, they can easily get a job in the UK as a doctor. And I can promise you that there are so many jobs, so many vacancies for the doctors. If you pass the PLAB exam today, within 1 month, you'll get the visa for the UK. Some GP or NHS is going to sponsor you within 1 month. No, I have never seen a PLAB uh, a doctor with a PLAB pass certificate stayed in the country more than 1 month. So they got a job easily, like straight away they get a job. Is that make sense? This is what a PLAB is. So if you, in order to, it's basically exchange your certificate with the UK certificate, because you have not studied in the UK. Their standard is a little bit different than Bangladesh or India. So that's why they sit for that exam. They show that we are competent. They are competent as the GP or general practitioner or the doctor in the UK, and they just come to switch. But those who are not a general practitioner, not seeing the patient face to face, those who are doing surgery only, like doing the surgery operation, for example, like kidney operation, heart operation, eyes operation. If you have like 5 6 years 10 years of experiences, then definitely you can come without the PLAB exam. You don't need to, at that time you don't need to see any people face to face. You just basically do the operation manually, or with the machine or whatever, with AI. You don't need any kind of PLAB exam for that. Okay.
Okay, so my next question would be, how much a student can get scholarship in the UK on percentage basis and depending on their credentials?
If I be very honest with you, as I said, UK universities will give you scholarship if you have very good results. Not only results, okay, 1 second. So it's not only results, you must have some kind of extraordinary background. So how do you define extraordinary background? Is, say for example, if you um, how many student pass HSC exams every year in Bangladesh? Give an example, or A level. For A level, I think less, but say how many students pass SSC every year? One
Yeah,
lakh, say,
yeah, more than that.
like say 200,000 student pass is HSC every year
Hmm.
before they come to the university, right?
Hmm,
So
yeah.
200,000. So 200,000 students. So if all two, do you think all 200,000 students are equal?
No,
Even they got GPA 5, are they equal?
they're not equal,
They're not
definitely.
equal. Some of them probably, like they ride rickshaw, they rode rickshaw, and they completed HSC and they got GPA 5
Hmm.
or A plus. And some of them maybe uh, never work hard. Their parents, like, feed them all the time.
Hmm.
They didn't get GPA 5. Okay, so it's all depend person to person. All depend person to person. Okay, so say for example, if you are, say if you have kind of extracurriculum activities, for example, as I said previously, that if you have done a lot of governmental work, environmental project, you have done a lot of NGO, non-governmental organizations project, charitable project, you show that you are an asset. The university will only give you a scholarship if they find you a credible person, if they can show and if you can justify that your admission to the university will bring the reputation to the university. For example, you have the, if you work, like say if you are like a cadet, okay, in Bangladesh, and you're becoming a national cadet or like very high profile cadet that everybody knows you there. You are on the top page of the newspaper all the time. Maybe you are a very big high profile singer. Maybe you are a very high profile, say, guitarist, for example, and into study medicine. And then if you finish a degree, you're going to add value to the university. Is that make sense? That you're gonna add value to the university. That means once you pass the course, university will be proud to say that this was my student. Okay, and after seeing you, maybe another thousands of students gonna come to the university. Make sense?
Hmm.
This is what you have to show, that you have some kind of ability, that you are competent enough, more than those 200,000 students. Then only you can get a scholarship. And a scholarship, as I said previously, that the students only take decisions 6 months before they are coming, preparation 5 6 months before they're coming to the UK. A scholarship has a deadlines. Every scholarship deadline. The scholarship probably finish the deadline. All the scholarship deadlines finish like before February, and
Hmm.
you're coming on the September. You basically apply to the university in February. So if you want to come to the university, you have to apply at least 1 year before. If you look into get a scholarship,
Hmm.
then you can get offer letter and then you can apply for a scholarship. You get me?
We have another question from Rafsan Islam Button.
Sure. Bring the question up. Also want to know about other work visa who didn't complete bachelor degree but want to get a job in the UK. Is it possible for them as well? Now it is not possible. Before it was possible. Uh, the government has changed the rules this year,
Yeah.
so that you cannot switch to any work visa without completing your degree, regardless of your undergraduate and postgraduate. So you must finish your degree before you switching to any other work visa. Okay.
Yeah.
So most of the students wants to know how much money they need to have in their account. This
Mhm.
is another thing. You need to have £12,006 in your bank account and £9,207 in your bank account if you come outside London. So if you come inside London, you have to have £12,006 in your bank account for 28 days. If you come outside London, you need to have £9,207 in your bank account if you're coming outside London for 28 days, plus your tuition fees. So if you pay half of the tuition fees, you need to have rest half of the tuition fees in your bank account.
Also, my question is like, what's in Bangladeshi taka? What amount of tuition fees on average a student has to pay on a yearly
It
basis?
is quite a lot. So say depending on which university, if you go to Bangor, £10,000, which is basically 300 and more miles from London, maybe 10,000, 12,000,
But if
13,000.
we talk about University of Westminster, Birkbeck,
Yeah,
Greenwich,
if you talk about good universities in London, like top-notch universities, like those
how
are
much is
popular
the tuition fees
internationally,
in
globally.
Bangladesh taka?
They are going to be 15,000, approximately £15,000 per year.
Mhm.
So if you convert that currency to like Bangladeshi taka or to
22 lakhs.
152, it's going to be like 20 lakhs taka. Yes, that's a lot of
Yeah.
money.
So within 20 to 25 lakhs, a student can get into a good university in London.
Yes, right.
They can
But then
afford.
remember, if you work hard, okay, if you have no expensive budget for your property or accommodations, and you work hard, then you can during the summertime, it is it will not be difficult to save up 6 7 thousand pounds if you really work hard.
Mhm.
Technically you have to understand every month you have income. If you do part-time job, easily student can earn up to 1,300 £400 if you have quite decent job. And if you're not like spending it all, you can also save every month some of the money, which I did as well as international student. So yeah.
What about the accommodation? Like, how much does a student has to budget in pound or Bangladeshi taka monthly on the accommodation? For example, if we say on an average a single room, good enough for one person to live.
Yeah, depending if you're living in central London, for example, one room could be like £1,500. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're living in East London, for example, where most of the Bangladeshis or Asian people live, plus outside outskirt the city center, which is in zone 4 or 5. As you know, London is divided in zone six zones actually. I think the subsection is going to be, I think, 7 or 9 zones. I think, but if you major section is going to be 6 zones. If you live in zone 5, the single room could be like 300 £400 or even less. So
Mm-hmm.
depend who you are staying with, whom you are sharing a property. So and if you're looking for double room, it's going to cost about 700 £800. So depend where you live, what is the accommodation like. If you are living in a luxury place, then you have to pay a little bit more. If you are staying with, like, I share my room with my brother. When I came to this country, I share my room with my friend. How many people will be able to share their room with their friend? So
Not many.
I did share my room with my friends and my brother, my younger brother. So that was cheaper for me. I paid, guess, in my time, like in about how many years ago? 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago, and I was more young that time. So I paid like maybe £120
Mm-hmm.
for my
That's
room, you know, because I share a room, and plus the house was under my name. So that's what we save a little bit of money as well. So £120 per month,
mm-hmm.
uh, and average income was like, say, £900 or £800 or a little bit less or more.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you pay £120 plus your bills and everything. Literally, you have £600 in your pocket.
Yeah,
So depend what kind of person you are.
yeah, I totally understand that.
What's
So
your
coming
what's
from,
your socio-economic background?
mhm, I totally understand. So there is another question asked by a few of my known people on my inbox. They were asking like, global consultants and lawyers chamber, if someone contacts us and gets their visa through us, their student visa, and comes to the UK through us, and if they don't have any family or relative in the UK, would we help them find an accommodation and help them settle in?
Sure, we always did. We always did. to every students, basically to pick them up from the airport to their destination, probably arrange the accommodation for them depending of the choice.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the students, like from good family background, they always ask me to find accommodation in the university hostel, so I arrange that. We arrange that with the university and the hostels. Some people wants to go to the private accommodations, and also our team arrange that as well. So that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually like that's really informative for people who wants to
Yeah,
do.
depend whoever wants to get this service. A lot of people, like I've seen, a lot of people doesn't require that service because they might have somebody in the UK to pick them up from the airport and
Mhm.
to maintain themselves. So that's it really.
Yeah. And the next question would be like, does our company guarantees that the visa is gonna be accepted? They're gonna get their student visa for sure. That's our
Okay,
question.
we're not a visa center. We are not giving the 100% guarantee that you're going to get the visa, but what we can guarantee is that on behalf of the university, we will give you the 100% support that you fulfill all the requirements of the university and immigration rules from your country. So that means, on behalf of the university, we will give you the support, right support, so that you will get your student visa on time to come, and you can come to the UK. So we always make sure that you comply or fulfill all the requirements of the UKVI, and then you get a visa.
Mhm. And would you like to say something about the students who are still thinking if they want to come in this September, or if they want to take this September session or January session 2025? Do you want to say something like if they want to start processing now, or if they want to take their time and then they can do it in a month or so? Or would you recommend them to start their procedure right now? Doesn't matter with whom with, but if they want to come to the UK for a September session, do you think they should start their procedure now?
If you want to come to the September session, see, like you have to have the bank balance for at least 28 days, right?
Mm,
You must have the money in your account for 28 days, and so you don't have much time left. So if you want to come for September, some of the university can give you the offer within like 2 to 3 days. Some of the university don't offer within 2 to 3 days. They're very, very slow. So depend which university you would like to go. If if you go to university who issue the offer within 3 days, and if you have English certificates and you get unconditional offer letter within 3 to 5 days or 10 days, then it is possible that you have money to count 28 days on your account, and plus you have to apply for your visa at least 2 months before. I would say 2 months. A lot of people say 1 month before, but I would say 2 months before your course starting date, so that you can have the preparation, mental preparation. You can do your shopping, you can prepare your accommodations, everything before you come to the UK. So yes, still there is a time, depending on which university you like to go. But if you want to go to a university where the administration or admission process is very, very slow, then it is going to be quite late. But
mhm,
if you want to go to the university where the administration procedures are very fast and they issue the offer letter within 3 to 5 days, then yes, absolutely fine. Still, there is a time to come for September, or still there is a time to, or you can plan for January session. But remember, not every university in the UK offer January session. Okay, January sessions are offered by very, very few universities in the UK. That is, you can check.
would you like to name a few of them, like the ones that are
For
like,
example, for January session, I would say Coventry University January session. You can do like probably Bangor. You can probably go to Cardiff Metropolitan for January session. Maybe Greenwich. Some of the subject they do January session, not every subject. Westminster, Middlesex, South Bank. Some of the subjects they do for January session as well. BPP, Brunel, Middlesex. Some of them they do actually. Not all the subjects they do in January session, because remember, January session doesn't have much students. Remember, international student doesn't fulfill all the university seats. It's the local students who complete the university seats. If you go on January session, you will find local students with you. Hardly. Like local students mean British citizens. British students, you'll find most of the British students start their session in September. They
mhm,
don't really go in January session. So if you want to have like proper experience, then September session is a good session, and January session. Plus, some of the university also run in July session too. So depend which. university you're going and what choices that you have and what subject that would like you are studying.
Hmm. Completely understand. So this was my questions for today. All the questions I've asked, and I hope that clears everyone's like questions in their mind. But I know it's like really late in different countries, in different time zones. It's really late at night, probably like
Yes,
midnight. So if anyone still has any kinds of question, you can still drop it either in any of our inbox, or you can comment here so that in the next live we can come forward with the questions, answers, and answer it. And you can always
absolutely.
text us.
Absolutely. But because of the technical issues, we are not able to do the live session at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock is a good time, and all Bangladeshis and all the people from Asian countries, they are actually quite awake still. I think we're doing live sessions where most of our audiences are sleeping now. So,
I so the same, yeah.
yeah, so hopefully next time we're going to start a little bit early so we can get a lot of questions. Today, we didn't have received many questions
Mhm.
from people.
But this was a good start, I would say.
Yeah. So let's from next time we can do about half an hour session, and
Hmm.
you can ask. We'll take the questions from you directly,
Hmm.
and you can ask anything about the universities in the UK, and we're happy to provide all the answers. And all the best to all the international students. All the best to you, Raisha, as well.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will do more live sessions soon. And the viewers that you have on your Facebook and our page and YouTube channel. Hopefully, we'll give you more, feedback and more answer sessions in
Mhm.
future, and you'll be benefited from this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.